And on the line, because we have another kind of an amazing movie story, and this is an amazing movie story. The Dinesh D'Souza movie, Hillary's America. There was Obama's America, and Hillary's America now was in theaters, and Dinesh D'Souza is with us right now. And Hillary's America, Dinesh D'Souza's latest movie, is quite remarkable for a whole range of reasons. And we went and saw it. My best girl and I went and saw it the moment it came out, and we may have to go see it again now that it's back in theaters. And I'm definitely going to buy the DVD, and I might buy some to give away as gifts to people who are voting Democrat and don't know what they're talking about on any of the major subjects that we're discussing right now. But Dinesh, thanks for being here today.
It's great to be on the show. It's exciting because our movie is being re-released this weekend, starting today in 400 theaters around the country, and that's very unusual for a movie. It reflects very strong demand and also the timeliness of the movie, which is sort of ground zero of the election debate, with Trump having jumped all over a number of themes that we stress in the movie.
Yeah, and the subtitle of the movie is great. Hillary's America: The Secret History of the Democratic Party. This is, I don't know if you've been asked this. Why is their history a secret?
It's a secret because the progressive Democrats dominate academia, the media, and Hollywood.
Right.
And when you control those three megaphones, you can put out a lot of disinformation. So they've told a kind of fanciful story about American politics in which the South and the white guy and America are the villains, whereas in fact, it's the Democratic Party that is the actual perpetrator of many of the vilest deeds of American history.
Well, I would go beyond many. I'd take almost, when it comes to racial blights on our history, virtually every single one of them is traceable back to a Democrat. From the Trail of Tears and the moving of the Indian tribes, Andrew Jackson, through FDR throwing the Japanese into internment camps in World War II, and every blight you look at, Sheriff Bull Connor. I think you need to make a part two of this movie, because there's a lot more to throw in. You did a beautiful job, and it's starting out with showing you going through the Obama administration, putting you in jail, and all of this, and it's remarkable to watch, and it's very watchable, and it's easily digested, the information that you provide. But there's a part two in there because you didn't get everything in. I know it's impossible in 2 hours to get every sin and crime of the Democrat Party.
The headlines are changing every day, and here's Hillary accusing Donald Trump of being associated with the KKK.
Right.
This is based upon 5 toothless white supremacists who endorsed Trump. Now, the Democrats started the Klan. They revived the Klan in the early part of the 20th century. All the thousands of people who have been hunted down, burned, and killed by the Klan, these people were killed by Democrats. The vast majority of Grand Dragons and leaders of the Klan have been Democrats. And the Democrats lionized their Klansmen. I mean, when Robert Byrd died in 2010, Hillary called him her mentor. Bill Clinton was there praising him at his funeral. Meanwhile, David Duke is firmly repudiated by the Republican Party. So Trump is being blamed for something that has nothing to do with him.
Yeah, the Klan bake, as it was called, the Democratic Convention in 1924, where they kind of breathed life back into the KKK, which had gone away, but the Democrat Convention brought it back. That was here in New York, I believe, and the rallies in New Jersey and so on. And through the 1960s, when I was a small child, Sheriff Bull Connor was an elected Democrat, and he was a leader in the Democratic Party statewide who led a walkout at the National Convention, standing in schoolhouse doors. Orville Faubus at Central High in Little Rock, Democrat. Republican Dwight Eisenhower sent down the 101st Airborne to move the Democrat out of the way. The schoolhouse door. George Wallace, Democrat, standing in the schoolhouse door in Alabama. It just goes on and on and on and on. And if you're looking for a Republican playing a role in this, you're looking for the people that were pushing the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act over the objection of people like Al Gore's father and Richard Russell of Georgia, who the Democrats named a building after on Capitol Hill.
Well, this is very powerful information for Republicans and conservatives. It essentially gives us the high ground in the race debate and strips the moral capital away from the Democratic Party. Because the Democratic Party perpetrates this myth, look, the South used to be Democratic and it used to be racist, but it's now Republican, and therefore all the racists have now become Republicans. Nonsense. The South became Republican in the 70s and 80s because of the Reaganite appeal of patriotism and free market. So this is a smear on the South being done by the progressive Democrats to cover up their own dirty hands and their own dirty tracks.
That's precisely right. Exactly right. And all early political leaders, African-American political leaders in the United States were Republicans. And it's, they've got I mentioned the Richard Russell Senate office building on Capitol Hill. Richard Russell was a dedicated segregationist and racist, and the building, honestly, shouldn't be named after him to this day. And I've suggested that they rename the building after Hiram Revels, who you no doubt know, the first African-American member of the Senate, who was, of course, a Republican.
Well, Trump is having an African-American roundtable today, and he made the remarkable statement that the Republican Party is the natural home of African-Americans. That's a very powerful thing that Trump is doing. No Republican candidate in my lifetime has gone in this direction. I'd like to urge people to see the movie this weekend, because that puts fuel in our rocket, helps us get to more theaters, and helps the movie reach independents and Democrats. So our website is just Hillary'sAmericaTheMovie.com.
And you also laid out the case of several individuals in your movie of early African-American Republicans fighting for civil rights, for freed slaves, and so on. And of course, they're all Republicans, and some beautiful storytelling of beautiful stories in the film.
We tried to make a movie that's not only informative but entertaining and moving, and it's amazing to see how at the end of every performance, doesn't matter what your politics are, we see the whole theater stand up and applaud. And how often do you see that in a movie these days?
Yeah, essentially never. So it is coming back out, and there are some great headlines. Hillary's America hitting screens again as race heats. Hillary's America getting theatrical re-release due to popular demand. These are the headlines that are out there, and I have seen the movie. I did rush out to see it. I want to support this movie and movies like it, and I can't recommend the movie highly enough, quite honestly. Dinesh D'Souza.
It's a great weekend to go see a movie, and if I may say so, Hillary'sAmericaTheMovie.com. That's where you can plug in your zip code and see where it's playing near you.
All right, there it is. Dinesh D'Souza, thanks for being with us. I appreciate your time, and this is another one people need to get out and see and support for America, dagnabbit. Thanks, Dinesh.
Thank you.
I'm going to take a quick one here. We'll be back.